how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. I felt really low energy just now. I'll do it again. How sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. Again, it's funny. I've done so many podcasts this week that my brain just is like confused. It's like, wait, what day is it again? It's Thursday. It's Thursday, your weekly show where we sit back, relax, we pour ourselves a drink. I said we pour ourselves a drink. And hopefully by now you've poured yourself just a little bit of
whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
because it's Thursday night. And I gotta say, as far as like topics go, this may be the most like content-filled week we've had probably ever. Probably ever. We're coming off of Ant-Man. Last of Us is rolling. We got 2 more episodes of that. We have Mando dropped yesterday. Bad Batch finally had another good episode. Creed drops this weekend. And then I was talking to Lenny when I did his show. Shout out to the For Those of Good Taste. We were looking at the list of movies coming out, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, where did all these movies come from? So there's a lot of stuff happening right now. We're definitely going to talk. We're going to try to keep it spoiler-free because it only just came out yesterday. But we're going to talk Mando. We're going to talk Bad Batch. I'm going to look up to see if there's any early reviews out so far on Creed. I'm wondering if it's, I'm wondering how the movie's doing. I'm not hearing anything, so we'll see. And on today's quest to collect the bounty, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, rambling with Anthony. So without further ado, I messed up the drum roll too, man. I'm way off today. Anthony, can you hear us?
I can. Evening, everybody. You know what it is? It's because you've been doing so much more work. You've been networking. You've been on the other shows this week. You're a little depleted. It happens. You've been doing the thing, the boss thing.
I think so. It was a world tour, I was calling it, because we had Monday was Nerdy Coffee. Tuesday was Yukon Phil's show, Yakking with Yukon.
Yep. Yukon,
yesterday,
right.
I went to Lenny's house. We recorded. We actually had to cut ourselves. We went 2 hours, and I recorded at Lenny's house, Good Taste Studios. For those Good Taste, if anybody's able to, post a link in the comment. And then today, HeyArcher Live. So 4 days in a row of shows.
Yeah.
It's wild out there.
And I just realized I was on both of our live streams this week, so that's new.
That's
for
correct,
me.
actually. Hey, to you. There you go. Before we get the show underway, or rolling, I should say. Of course, shout out one late night man, Mark. Good to see you. Rolando, always there to support. Appreciate you, Rolando. Aaron Waller in the house, of course. The Legacy One, the Legacy of Nerd. Daniel in the house. And yes, we are rolling now. We are good. Oh, and Josh popped up in the house.
Yes, Josh.
Good to see you. Countdown City Geeks have an early review of Creed. I saw that posted, and I wasn't sure if it was a spoiler-free or not, because the description didn't tell me. So I didn't click on it. But if you're saying it's spoiler-free, let me know. Actually, what I'm going to do, I had just put on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to text Lenny, because he's currently in the theater right now watching Creed.
Oh.
Let's see. Creed is...
See if he can help us out.
Since you're watching it live. And we're live. So we'll see what Lenny says as the show goes on. Are you excited for Creed at all? Like, are you gonna... is it Ant-Man? Is it Creed? Or is it none? Like, what are we doing?
I am excited for Creed. I think both of them are good films. Like when I heard the premise of the second one, I was like, oh, come on, they're going to do the Drago thing. Like, I didn't but it came. I thought it was good. I thought they handled it well.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I want to see both. It's just as usual. It just comes down to time.
Yeah.
So
So Lenny right
I
now,
actually,
he actually just
yeah.
said the theater is busier than normal
Oh,
for premiere night.
is he already seated? Did it say, or
I
what did
know
it
the
say?
show was for 8:15, so
Oh, okay.
he's probably already seated. So we'll see.
We'll hear from our man in the field.
Yeah. So if you had to choose this weekend, what are you gunning for?
Honestly, I might just go for Creed. If I had to this weekend, I would probably do
Mm-hmm.
Creed. Just it's I mean it's not different because it's the third and it's a Rocky movie essentially without Rocky,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not to say I'm over the sci-fi and the geek and all that stuff, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like you said before, this has been like a heavy week for
Yeah.
content that came out. So I think I'm definitely you know hitting a little bit of a
Fatigue.
fatigue point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for something different, if I had to, gun to my head, I'd buy a ticket to Creed this weekend. And
Sounds
maybe
good.
I will. Who knows what I'm doing this weekend? But
And all of you in the chat, let us know if which way you're going with that. Is it Creed? Is it Ant-Man? Is it something else? Because I don't want to. Do watch for those good tastes when the episode finally drops. Again, we recorded for way longer than we intended to. Could have kept going, but we stopped ourselves. We talk about this on his show, but as far as March releases go, I'm gonna switch over. By the way, why don't you turn your camera off in case when I jump to you or jump to the screen share, your camera's there. I'm just looking out for you because you're always there. Just cover it. Cover it for
yeah,
now.
because I
Let's
can't
see.
do that yet.
Oh no, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Because you guys can't know what Anthony looks like, even though there's
Yeah,
proof out there.
there's proof. Yeah, there's stuff out there, but it's vanity. I just don't feel like.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we can discuss that later. You were saying.
Shout out K Walk, of course. Welcome to the stream. And Mark is going. He's going Creed. So, already on the first. I don't know what that is, so we're skipping that. But look at this, releasing this weekend. Operation Fortune. Do you know what that movie is?
Not a damn clue.
What if I told you Guy Ritchie came out with a new movie that had a bunch of the Guy Ritchie regulars in it, and it was a mobster movie?
I knew there was a Guy Ritchie movie coming out, but I didn't realize that for some reason that doesn't seem like the title that I was thinking it was.
I might have made up the
Interesting.
mobster part, but it's a Guy Ritchie.
There's always mobsters in Guy
There's always
Ritchie
mobsters
movies.
in it, so I just assumed. What's up, Mulatto? Good to see you. So you have a Guy Ritchie movie dropping the same weekend as Creed 3, and for you horror fans out there, Children of the Corn remake dropping. So I'm like,
God.
when did all these get announced? So I was thrown for a loop when I saw that. And then scrolling down, let's see, now we're into the week of March 7th. Let's see, 9th. Then the 10th,
Another
so next
Scream.
week, the new Scream comes out for any horror fans out there. Then there's the Luther movie for those that out there that love Luther, which is a lot of people. Gonna keep on going. Let's see. Shazam. I forgot Shazam was this month. Completely forgot.
I
about
remember it only because I listened to him on another podcast mentioning it. Like for 5 minutes at the very end of the podcast, they talked about Shazam, and I was like, "That's not a good sign."
that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny. I was predicting Creed was going to be probably the bomb of the month. Not because I think it's going to suck or anything. I just, I'm like, who's going to theaters frequently, especially in 1 month? And, but I'm seeing a lot of other things. I'm like, maybe all these movies just do decent, and one of them stands out slightly. Maybe it is going to be Creed. I was confused. I was curious because Rocky's not in it, Stallone's not in it, so people still go see it. But this is only midway in the month, so we have Shazam again. Black Adam probably ruins any look of that movie being successful. Um,
Yeah. Oh
Chosen
wow.
on the Corn's on there twice, but John Wick and then a month.
Yeah. That was my oh wow. Huh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go see that.
yeah. So
They
and
definitely
this
should
is
have
for the.
stopped that, but by the way,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So for
yeah.
you and everybody in the chat, John Wick 4. Are we going to theaters for that, or are we waiting?
I mean, again, I'd like to try to see it in theaters, but realistically, it's gonna end up on HBO Max, and that's probably where I'm gonna go see it. But as
Yeah,
of now, I want to see it in theaters just because it is ridiculous and it's over the top, and it's just a shame because like they really, I think, I mean, I'd mentioned this once, and we never. That's like one of those movies. It only should have been one. Not everything needs to be
yeah,
a sequel or a trilogy or a universe. Like,
yeah,
I mean, for God's sakes, they're even building out technically the Glass Onion universe
yeah.
because that poker face is set in that world. I'm pretty sure.
The
You know,
girl,
so it's like,
I looked it up actually. We may be wrong, but I don't think we're wrong.
okay,
The name at the bottom of the Zoom link when they show the screen, it's a different
hmm
name than the character on the show. But
uh,
then I was like, he could easily just be like, oh, she was using somebody else's computer. Because in every episode, she's in a different town doing a different job for somebody else. So,
yeah, okay.
sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, it's like, we don't need it. It's something to be said for making something good once and leaving it alone.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
so that was really the only point. Like, I'm not saying obviously superhero movies fleshing it out in a series of movies or TV shows or something, that's something different. But like,
Mhm.
spoilers for John Wick, he's a retired assassin who avenges his dog. That's insane, and like the movie was insane, and who the hell saw that coming? Like, it was a huge hit. I think it was anyway.
It was, yeah.
And yeah, and like the sequels didn't really add to that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the same. He's paying for having gotten his revenge. For having come back into that world. Eh, I don't know. It gets a little bit more unbelievable because can I say
Yeah.
spoilers for the third one?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. I mean, the third one, he falls off a building.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
He takes his friend Winston shoots at him, and I think a lot of the bullets get stopped by the suit. I think, but he still goes over the edge of a building that I don't know. It's probably at least 10 stories, right? I don't
Hmm.
remember, but it's probably at least 10 stories. He falls. He hits awnings, all this other stuff, and then he bounces off a dumpster before landing in the street.
Yeah.
And he's still able at the very end of that movie to pick himself up to talk to Lawrence Fishburne and say he's down for revenge.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're dead. You're in a
Yeah.
coma at the very least. You're bleeding out for sure, and you have a lot of broken bones and internal injuries.
Hmm.
You know, like it's like we say like at a certain we said it with Black Widow. At a certain point, they forgot that she's a spy. She's a really good
Right.
spy, but they forgot that she's a spy when she's taking grenades or car accidents and walking away. Like, I suspend disbelief to an extent for every movie, but it's like you haven't injected her with the Infinity Serum or anything.
Hmm.
There's no reason that this person in a cat suit should walk away from that.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I
damn it,
believe
I
it.
did it again. I went on a rant
You did.
or a
So you
ramble.
do. You ramble. But
Sorry, sorry,
well,
not sorry.
yes, exactly. Sorry, not sorry. So again, not to ruin. When I'm on for those good tastes, it's a great. It's probably gonna be 2 episodes or 3 because we went for so long. But we do talk about John Wick, and to my surprise, every movie made more than the previous. I was kind of surprised at the third one. I thought 2 would be peak. 3
Hmm.
actually surpassed 2. Now, there's 2 things that I think may change John Wick 4's trajectory. And then I'll come back to a couple comments and thoughts. One, John Wick 1 through 3 was pre-COVID. And I think going to the movies was different for everybody pre-COVID. We can all agree. People just on a whim were like, I'm going to go to movies. Like, I got nothing to do. I'm just going to go. I don't think that happens as much these days. I could be wrong. 2, this is Keanu Reeves post Matrix Revolutions. Because
Resurrections.
Resurrections. Does that hurt this? So do the two of those factors hurt the turnout for John Wick 4? I'm not sure, but I want to see it. But if you ask me on my day off, am I going to give Keanu 2.5 hours of my day? Or actually, it's like 4 by the time you go there, you sit through trailers, you leave.
Yeah.
I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the movie to do it for me. But I may stand alone on that. The other comment before we, touch on, actually, we'll just knock this one out. Batman, the Doom that came to Gotham, new animated movie. I'm always hyped for these, and I could stay at home and watch it. So, another DCEU or DCAU? DCAU, yeah. DC Animated Universe, yeah. Another one. Will it hit? Probably not. They haven't been doing that great lately, but we get a new one.
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know, it went a little downhill once they ended the old animated universe that had like Justice League Dark and all that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but they reused, I don't know if I don't know if it's supposed to be a universe again, but they reused Jensen Ackles as Batman again. Like he was Batman in The Long Halloween, and
oh, right.
There's like Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. I saw a clip.
Right.
And he's back as Batman in that. So maybe they're trying something again, but I mean, kind of, it's almost pointless because Gunn's already said I don't know if he wants his animated universe to be the only animated universe. Like, I don't know if this is going to stand or if they're just going to like keep making, they're going to say it's the Gunverse and everything else.
Yep. Who knows? It's one of those who knows. I guess he does. At the end of the day, he does.
Well, yeah, exactly. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't realize this was legitimate. I guess people are really going to sue because of
Batfleck
the
or Soups
Batfleck and yeah, being in more Cavill being in Shazam, but like it's like wow, all right, like I'm annoyed, but it's like I don't know if I'm not annoyed enough to litigate.
I mean, I signed a petition to reset the Star Wars universe after The Last Jedi, so I'm down.
Yeah. Well, but that's different. Like, I mean, this is a petition is one thing. It's like the 500,000 fans or whatever want you to like get rid of like course correct and blah blah blah. Like this potentially could end up in a court.
Yeah,
that's
be hilarious.
Totally different to me.
Would be hilarious.
I mean, it would be amazing.
Well, the other thing coming out end of the month, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I forgot all about this movie. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, could not. This isn't even going to get. This isn't even going to get me at home. This isn't going to get my at home time.
No,
I can't. And like we were talking about it separately, but isn't it just funny? Like Chris Pine. That's the Chris. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Wonder Woman. He's Captain Kirk in the reboot, and the first one was pretty damn good, and all this other stuff. And then it's like, you're in this now?
Yeah.
This kind of seems like, I'm sorry to say, this kind of seems like the stuff you do towards the end when, things aren't really working out and you just want to keep it going a little longer.
Yeah. True. What's up, Jabbar? Good to see you.
Hey, Jabbar.
And what up, Jose? I saw he came in. I showed it earlier. The comment I wanted to go back to was Scream, actually. So Josh, he writes he's over Scream, but from what I understand, a lot of horror fans are enjoying Scream and where it's been going in the different movies, with one exception, I believe, being 3. Have you seen all the Scream movies at all, or are you a fan?
I watched the originals with Josh way back when. I haven't seen any of the new ones, because I'm not really a horror person even to this day. Like I saw it, but I saw it because I was dragged to it, type of thing. So I don't know. They've never really been my thing, and I think they do like a TV show too, a Scream series.
Yeah, I think it was like a CW or MTV. I think MTV did it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have anything against the movie continuing because it's like a horror franchise and like this contradicts what I just said, but deal with it. It's like it's a stupid franchise. It's it's Freddy Krueger, it's Jason and Michael Myers and all that stuff. They're just going to make them forever, and probably because I'm not invested in it, I don't care how many of them they make. But I've heard the
Mhm.
same thing too. I've heard like once they got back to films and once they had, I forget who they didn't kill off, but I know at least Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox came back for one or two movies. I think Courtney Cox was in this movie. I
Mhm.
heard once they did that it started to get good again, but I've never. It's not my wheelhouse, so
Not your cup of
I
tea.
don't haven't. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you on
So
that. The
oh, Josh says the only good thing about the last one was the kill off of a certain main star.
okay,
Interesting.
there you go. Keeping it spoiler free. I like that. Just in
Yeah,
case
he's practicing.
he's practicing.
Mm,
So the other, I mean, again, so many franchises we talked about for just March, and we already have shows that are underway at the moment.
mm.
So, did you watch? I think you've been watching, but did you watch the latest Bad Batch?
I actually just watched that and Picard today, in case you wanted to touch on that. But yes, I
Oh,
did, and I'm with you. Uh, this is this was a good episode. This is like okay, they're starting to realize that they got clued in accidentally to some stuff the Empire is up to. I'm trying to keep
mm-hmm,
it spoiler free,
mm-hmm,
and you know they sent that information off to some of their associates, and now it seems like we might be having a thread. And minor spoiler, I took it like they had a little interaction with Sid, the
yep,
old
the one
lady
who hires
wizard
them.
who's been the one who hires him for the job.
Yep,
I took that interaction as they're pissed off with her finally,
mm-hmm,
and like yeah, they did this job for her, that they found out the information, but like I don't know, I think there's planting the seeds to separate from them finally and maybe get back to doing some just like soldiering. Basically they're going to be the A team in space,
yeah,
but without her as their handler.
yeah. They should have
So
been
yeah, no, this was the
that should
episode
have
I was
been.
waiting for.
But like I was explaining it today at work, and I did this right. I was like, Bad Batch, the first, what was it? The end of the first episode into the second one was like, oh, this is we're going somewhere here. And then, or sorry, it was the end of the
Yeah, it was like
second
episode
one.
3 or 4.
Well, three was fire, right? So three was like freaking
Yeah.
high. So like in the first three episodes, because the second episode is where the guy, the commander shoots the clone, in the back and kills him for potential
Hmm.
because he doesn't want him to tell anybody Bad Batch exists. And that was one of those tonal change moments where you're like, oh, like we're heading somewhere. So I was like, so within the first three episodes, we got like some goodness. The first one had some cheese, and then like, oh, psych, we're doing something else. Then
Mm.
then you have like this middle part that's just terrible, absolutely terrible. Then they give us that two-parter, which is amazing, and you're like, okay, now we're back up again. And
Yeah.
then this part is just
Yeah.
garbage, and then now we're here again. So they keep doing this, and I've come to the conclusion upon watching The Mandalorian yesterday. Watched it twice.
Me too.
Disney and Star Wars just cannot do filler. Filler is not their wheelhouse. But when they're on story, when they're on whatever the main like mission is, they can hit it.
Yeah.
Like they hit it good. But everything else is just, I mean, think about it. Think about the concept that Book of Boba Fett filler was the two Mandalorian episodes. Like that's how bad they are at filler.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And they need to like in the case of the TV show, well, and again, I haven't seen Andor, so I can't speak on that.
Mhm.
But in the case of Bad Batch and Mando's only 8 episodes. I didn't realize. Like it's a
This
short
season's
season to
only
begin with.
8.
I mean, the other two seasons were like, let me triple check, but because I watched the second season finale the night before
The new
the
one.
new season dropped, just because I
Mhm.
wanted to be refreshed, and I
Mhm.
had kind of blocked out that he was in Book of Boba Fett until I was talking to you guys the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, hang on, I got you.
And as you look that up, as a heads up to some of you, if you've not watched those 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, you should before you watch this episode of Mando. Because, and I should text my coworker actually. I told him, I was like, oh, did you watch it? He was like, no, but I'm curious to see if Grogu and him are like back together and how that happens. And I was like,
Yeah,
wait, that did happen. You didn't see that show? He's like, no.
exactly.
And I was like, oh shit. There's probably a lot of people who didn't watch that show.
Exactly. And yeah, I just double checked. The first 2 seasons were 8 episodes.
Mm.
So yeah, now you're going to do it again and we're going to run
Yeah.
long. How the hell do you do that? How do you drop something like that in Book of Boba Fett
Yeah.
when that was like, so Sal's not here tonight. He's recuperating, obviously,
Mhm.
but he said this and I agree with this sentiment. So this is Sal's original and I second it. They undid the character development. They undid the
Yes.
story of season 2 in 2 episodes of a shitty Star Wars show that we didn't need.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
And now, yeah, like they're back together in season 3, and it doesn't really make sense. Why?
Yep.
Why did you built towards this whole thing about Grogu contacting another Jedi, and he's going to go off, and you have Ahsoka telling him, how an untrained person is even more dangerous, and blah 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 blah. Why'd you undo it? Like you could have, like that could have been like because episode 1 of this season was a lot of filler, and this could have been like those 2 episodes were like filler that should have been saved for season 3, and we would have
Yep.
been like so happy with that. Like
Yep.
seeing him Luke doing all his Jedi training shit and talking to Grogu and everything else. It probably would have only been 1 episode because let's not ever dive back into Book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
But so yeah, they can't do filler to save their lives. They need to really just get I mean, it's 8 episodes again. The first 2 seasons, 8 episodes. For the animated stuff, 8 to 10 episodes. Don't do side quests. Don't do filler. Like in the episode before this one of Bad Batch, they introduced that kid who has the neck tattoo and is
Yeah.
the one who stole their ship.
Yeah.
We're gonna see him again. I don't want to ever see him again. He's gonna come back towards the end of the season because they beat you over the head with it too. It's like I get it. It's a show for kids, but that's not who's mainly watching it. I don't think.
Yeah.
He
Well-
beats into your head. I'm a thief. You might need a thief. I'm a thief. You might need a thief. And
Yeah.
I bet you towards the end of the season,
There he is.
they're going to need a
Thief.
friggin'
Yeah.
thief.
Yeah. And Jon Favreau, I shared a clip today from an interview he did with the Cyber Nerds, who I had on my list of 28. It was 28 days of blurred excellence. They have a YouTube channel. They're like, as far as I didn't know YouTube does this, but I guess they do it in the UK. Like they are, I think, partnered with YouTube to a certain extent, and like I think they record like in a YouTube studio, like by YouTube. Like that's how big they got.
Okay.
So, nonetheless, they got a review with Jon Favreau, or one of the guys. I forget his name. He got an interview with Jon Favreau, and in the interview, I shared it. It was great. What was surprising to me, just to go off on a slight ramble, he was asking questions that I was pretty sure you wouldn't be allowed to ask if you were like a plant, or like if you were put there by somebody who was like, all right, let me look at your list of questions. No. Like it didn't seem that way. So
Okay.
I do highly recommend watch that interview. But at one point, John says, when you're writing for Star Wars, you do have to keep in mind, one, you got to play within canon, which I posted that on TikTok. Now people are going at each other about whether it's valid to go in canon or not. But also, you have to remember, most of us, including the people writing the show, came in as kids. So you have to remember that you were looking at it. Not only were you a kid, but it was written for you as kids. When you watch New Hope, pretty safe to say it's I think it's even rated PG. Like kids can watch that movie, no issue. So as we grow up, and as even the writers of the show grow up, they have to balance themselves on this scale where it's like, all right, we are older and we acknowledge people watching who've been fans forever are now older, but we also have to make it so that at points young kids can come in and be introduced to it for the first time. And he's like, I don't want to make shows where my kids can't watch it, even though it has the Star Wars label on it. And I understand, but they also just jump all over the place with how that works, because in Bad Batch, in the same show where now like this young kid's in there to be like the kid that they think kids will want to like watch and be like, oh, I'm gonna roll with that kid, or like Omega, like, oh, I like Omega, I'm gonna be like Omega. They have a soldier commit suicide like in the episode before. So I'm like, which is it? Are you trying to are you trying to get the kids in it with like the kiddie shit, or are you trying to get the adults with the adult shit? And why can't you find that middle ground? Like, why is it always two extremes episode to episode? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I didn't see. I will watch that whole one now.
Yeah.
Thank you. But
this episode,
yeah,
of,
it's. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, well, this episode of Mandalorian is one where I'm like, definitely more towards the kid's side.
Yeah.
I thought.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely. This because they've given us like 2 episodes of this show sandwiched into Book of Boba Fett. It's funny because it's like this is the 3rd episode of filler shit that we would have gotten anyway if you took out those other 2 episodes. So it's weird, but yeah, I want, like, Josh has kids, Elijah has kids. I want them to have an in. I'm not saying I want it to be like super dark and like just Mando, like, eventually with, beheading people with the dark saber or stuff like that. But it's been done well in the past where I didn't feel like it was pandering to anybody, like Clone Wars has more good episodes than bad. It's when they focus on the Jedi because that's what we want to see and things of that nature. I don't know why it's like, it just feels like I have nothing but my own gut to back me up on this. It just feels like they're slave to some arbitrary episode count. We need X amount of episodes of TV.
They do. Yeah.
And that's why, and that's got to change too, because they're also bitching about like diminishing returns and, everything's too expensive. This and okay, well, what are we on of Bad Batch? Episode
11
like 8
or 12.
11.
12 is next
week.
week.
Oh God. Okay, 12. So 11 as of today. The season should have been probably like 5 episodes. So of quality stuff.
Yep. So
I just took out 6 episodes, and however much it is to produce an episode, boom, that's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
And if it's about the app subscriber, just start dropping your stuff the middle of the month. Like, give me 5, 6 episodes of a good show. They release season premiere March 15th. Because now you got me for 2 months by default. Versus you trying to stretch me for 3 months, assuming people subscribe, unsubscribe, like, assuming that happens. Instead of stretching me for 3 months with a whole bunch of trash, like I'm not coming back. And the fact that so many people have not watched Book of Boba Fett kind of proves that point. Like, if you give me trash, I'm out. I don't care what's going on in the show. I don't know.
And again, there are like nuggets of good things in Boba Fett, like Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth.
Yep.
So there's nuggets of good things, but it's again, they did a 180 all of a sudden because like I said, I watched the season 2 finale. I'd forgotten about the post-credit scenes that teased the Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
Boba and Fennec go into Jabba's old palace, just execute people. Fennec frees a slave girl, and then they Boba kills Bib Fortuna, kicks him out of the chair, sits down. Fennec pops a cork out of a bottle, all badass. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be the Sopranos in space.
We actually did say that, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to, but what did we get? He's like a low rent Tiger King because he has the animals that he's like, friendly with, and he's all happy and like a bantha. He's arbitrarily adopted Tatooine as his people, as his homeworld, and them as his people and everything. and I want to rule with respect. Why? Why? You were just killing people 5 minutes ago. I watched an episode where you tried to kill a Mandalorian woman because she made fun of you for being a sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that whole scene too between him and uh oh crap. Sasha, I said the wrong name
Sasha
last
Banks.
time and got in trouble. Thank you. Between him and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
you know? It, who what how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Well, just so we don't forget about something we talked about at the beginning, I do want to come back to something. I looked it up. Right now, reviews are saying
Wow.
it's good.
Okay.
So, and I've got no update from Lenny. So Lenny must be really focused on the movie.
That's actually a good sign that he's not looking at his phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
it's good for the movie, and it speaks to Lenny's moviegoer etiquette. So give him a round of applause, please.
there you go.
Thank you.
By the way, everybody, just to do a plug real quick. If you have not done so, hit the thumbs up down below, hit the like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We have channel memberships up above. We have super chats where you'll see your name up above. And if you do either of those two things, something will pop up right over here. So if anybody does that today, we'll see it. And it's still a work in progress. But if you want to see where it is so far, you can do one of those two things. I think I'm with you. Creed's gonna be the movie I see.
Yeah.
However, if I choose a day to go to the movie and I cannot get my seat, my glorious seat back of the theater next to nobody, I'm gonna go for a Guy Ritchie movie because I'm assuming it's gonna be empty anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite Guy Ritchie movie? I think we talked about it briefly the other day.
I mean, probably Snatch. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is good.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's his first one, I think, right? So
That was the first. Then you had that one, and then you had Rock and Rolla.
yeah, I still haven't seen Rock and Rolla. I actually just saw The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey. And did you see that one?
I did not actually.
It's on HBO. That's how I watched it. That was good. That was enjoyable. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Snatch, and probably Lock, Stock would be number two because I didn't realize I thought Snatch was his first movie, and like
Mhm.
there's just still so many quotes that come out from it
Right.
that you know, and it's also so funny to see all those actors and all the other stuff that they've gone on to do.
So I didn't even know
Or
about this movie, The Gentleman. Oh, with Charlie Hunnam.
he's in it too. That he played a good role.
So it's a good
Colin
movie.
Farrell. I think it's an enjoyable movie. Like again, like I can see why it probably didn't. I'm not. I have no idea, but if it didn't do well at the box office, it has a lot of people in it, so that's a lot of overhead already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to say there's no superheroes in it. There's no explosions. Well, there's some explosions, but there's no. It's not Star Wars or Star Trek or a superhero thing. So that's unfortunately what makes the most money these days. So it's like, if you want to keep making films that aren't that, you have to just like, these actors, I think we've said this before, go get attached to a fucking superhero franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can work with the Guy Ritchie's, and you just have to say, okay, this is my, I won't say independent, but this is my not blockbuster movie. So
My
here's
passion
my not
project.
blockbuster rate. Yeah,
Yeah.
my passion project. So here's my passion project rate.
Yeah.
And whatever else. It's actually a good movie. I don't know if we've ever talked about it. Did you ever see? I think it's called The Judge with Downey Jr. and
Oh
Robert Duvall.
no, I do know of that movie though.
Yeah, I think that's a damn good movie. It's just
Oh, Kingpin's in it too.
yeah. Kingpin is Iron Man's brother, and
Wow.
yeah,
And
it's a good movie.
Vera here was in Hawkeye as well.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, so
Billy
you have a
Billy
lot of
Bob, yeah.
MC alums in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Bob has not been in a superhero movie, right?
Not that I can think of. No.
I don't think he was. So yeah,
His wife was in a movie that you still have not seen.
uh, Billy Bob
What's
has
like
a wife.
ex-wife or ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
I don't know if they're actually married.
Angel
Yeah.
Angelina.
Mhm.
Oh, Eternals. I was gonna say,
Eternals.
I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something else? Because they've been like separated for a long time. God, the Billy Bob Angelina thing was so weird.
Yeah,
So fucking weird.
that it was.
Shall we talk Last of Us?
Yeah.
Spoiler free, I guess, right?
Spoiler free for the last episode. Yeah.
Okay. We're using this word a lot this week. It was filler,
Hmm.
but it was appropriate filler. It was time to like take a minute, and it worked in the story, like having the character kind of do like a self-reflective moment, and obviously in her head she played through that in a second or two, but
Hmm.
we just got it all fleshed out and whatnot. And I thought, I mean, I listened to something the other day, and it was like a podcast, I forgot who, but they were like, they're happy for The Last of Us because it seems to be bucking the trend of video games adapted to real life. And then like I didn't realize, because again, I knew it was a video game, but I'm not a gamer, so it's not like right up in my head. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it is a video game. And then I started thinking about other, and I went right to like, oh, what was the one with Tim Oliphant? Not Assassin's Creed. That was
It
with
was a ripoff of
Fassbender. Uh, just Hitman.
Hitman. Yeah.
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 So yeah. This one so far is, and I haven't seen Halo. Would you say Halo is a good
Oh,
loaded question?
I love Halo.
Okay. Actually, I'm an idiot. I have Paramount now. I could watch it.
Halo is, and then we'll go back to Last of Us. Halo is so bad at times. It's good. Like
Oh,
like they were on something else when they wrote that show. And at a certain point, I actually did say to myself, and I may have said it in a review or conversation or something, Halo is actually a decent sci-fi show, but they're all cosplaying in the Halo universe.
okay.
But the ending is something else, man. The ending on that one. I mean, nothing beats the Flash lightsaber fight or
Oh God.
I am vengeance or nothing beats any of that stuff. But
Yeah.
Halo's a must watch, I gotta say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been skipping, and I don't really see. Maybe maybe I'll try to watch the series finale, but I've just been watching clips of the Flash, and yeah, I'm glad I'm not watching that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like, and somebody made a bold claim. Maybe I can't remember who said it, but somebody, probably the showrunner or somebody obviously involved in the series, kind of claimed that the Flash actor Grant Gustin,
Mm-hmm.
he like gave him a compliment. He's like, he's going to be like synonymous with the Flash. Like he's our generation's Flash. He's the, basically, heaping a lot of praise on the guy.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know if I necessarily disagree. It's the same thing when you strip away all like the inspirational shit that he has to do and say, because it's essentially a teen comedy or a
Mm-hmm.
teen show
Mm-hmm.
on a teeny bopper network. There's nuggets of good stuff in there, but then it's just like, dude, you had them do a lightsaber lightning bolt fight, and you thought that was good.
Yeah. And
His suit looks great.
Kevin Smith will be like, that's the greatest episode
Yeah,
ever.
Kevin Smith directed a couple episodes of
He
that and
did.
Supergirl.
He did.
Hell, he had Jay as a guy on there too.
Yeah.
But
It's,
the suit looks good. Have you seen the suit for seasons like 8 and 9?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's pretty damn good. It's a nice evolution from the leather suit he started off with.
For sure. I'm ready for him to be our Flash. I'm ready for him to port over, just be in Flashpoint, call it a day, reset it all.
Oh wow, you think he's actually going to do it?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Oh wow. See, I don't think he is. I mean, I'm
Mm.
believing he's made that comment. He made a comment someplace, either on his Instagram or like I read it in an interview. He was like, I think it's like he said something like, not because of anything bad, but I'm ready to, I'm ready for the Flash to end and do something else.
Well, yeah, he's ready for the
So,
Flash TV show to end.
well, that's true too, but I don't know. I think still Lucas Till would be a better Barry Allen, the guy who was Havoc in X-Men First Class, or was
Mm.
it? Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I've seen fan art where they put him in the Flash suit and that just looks good. Uh,
Wait, but you want him as Barry or Wally? I could see him as Wally.
no, he is. I mean, I've only ever seen him with like blonde hair. He looks like Barry because Barry in the comics, blonde hair, blue eye, uh, and Wally's a redhead. So
Wally is a redhead.
yeah.
But but Wally's
Well,
the more
the
goofy type person.
ah, let him try to play it straight. I mean, Barry's kind of, if I'm remembering right, in the comics, like he's a little bit awkward and bumbling CSI type, and not like that's not like him being a persona. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
You know. So
I was he in MacGyver?
yeah, he was MacGyver in the reboot.
God.
I watched like a veterans react thing, and they were like, "Oh my god, if anybody believes this is such horseshit," he like made a water cannon drill type of thing out of a fire hydrant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like I love those things where like they kind of tear apart. He's like, "There's not enough pressure in the main to do what he's doing with how he's doing it," and just like all this other shit, or like I can't remember it, but they definitely did one too where they like, oh yeah, no, I remember they did one where they reacted to the kitchen fight scene in the first John Wick,
Mm.
and they're like, dude, you've been out of practice, all this other thing. Okay, fine, you have like the skills and muscle memory and shit. That was like a kill team of like what, 8 guys at a minimum. He's like,
Yeah.
after the first guy, you're gonna be pretty fucking tired, and you just like mowed through 8 guys, like and you didn't even like bend over once to catch it to like suck some wind. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I mean,
Yeah, I love those ones.
my favorite one of those types of YouTube shows is the one where the guy breaks down Heat and he talks about how accurate Heat was as
Yeah,
far as that final scene, and even with them faking the recoil when they were shooting, I was like, that's why I love that movie.
yeah. That I've heard many times. Well, I've read many times that supposedly at some point the Marines showed that clip as like a combat reload
Yeah.
type of thing, and I can believe that out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I've known enough of them,
I
but
want I want Disney, even just to go back to that. I want Disney at a certain point when they make anything that's nerd, right? Star Wars, Marvel, X-Men, whatever show it is, to have some nerds in the room that are not just trying to get some tickets. To be like, hey, you know what? I feel like that's not accurate. Like I know it sounds stupid. We're talking about fictional characters, but that just doesn't sound right. Because
yeah,
when I look at Heat, they had like that's a movie. Like Heat is like a quality movie, which this is like an old person gonna say. They don't make them like that anymore. Where they're like, all
yeah,
right,
they don't.
how would this work if we were trying to do it? And like having somebody there to be like, I don't know, does if Mando needed a new ship as a bounty hunter, is he gonna have a one person seater or is he gonna get another minivan to put bodies in because that's his job? Like
Yeah,
somebody in the room to just no, I wouldn't do it that way. If I was, or maybe have a real bounty hunter. Fuck it, go all the way. Have a real bounty hunter in the room when they're riding.
get dog.
Get dog. He ain't doing anything. Get dog the bounty hunter in the room to be like, yeah, this is what I would do. Especially if I had a tracking device that found random people, which they don't go to that anymore. They've dropped that whole
Yeah, they
thing.
never. Yeah, they just like everybody had everybody in the Star Wars universe has a tracker,
Yeah.
and they can do that. By the way, a missed opportunity because they're moving away from him as a bounty hunter now. But a missed opportunity in season 1 was to have Lorenzo Lamas just like as a bounty hunter in the bar,
Please.
like
Who are these people in the writers' room? Why do they not think of this?
Dave Filoni and John Favreau. That's 2 of them.
But I think they don't have control. Sometimes
I mean,
I think they
don't.
sneak in control when we get episodes of Bad Batch like we got. That's when
Yeah.
they slip it in. But like, why was Lorenzo Lamas not there?
Yeah.
To the previous point, why was David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury not in the room in Doctor Strange 2?
Yes, exactly. Why?
Who are you people?
Why?
Yeah.
Why didn't Carl Weathers, when he says a Mandalorian's not a what was the line? It's like, it's not a race, it's a creed.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed said creed. Why
Yeah.
didn't he smirk at the camera
Yeah, that would have been
or
great.
anything like that?
Yeah.
Or why didn't
Why didn't he punch somebody and be like, it's not a race, it's a creed?
yeah. Or why, like, when he had the bar that was clearly his office and whatnot, throw the fucking Predator arm up there.
Oh man,
Like,
it's their franchise now.
arm,
they own it.
exactly.
They own it.
Whichever arm the Predator slices off of him, which I
Yeah.
think is his left arm, the Predator's left arm just on the
left
wall,
hand,
mounted.
Yeah.
Just mounted.
Yeah. An arm, just an arm.
Just an arm. You don't got to say it's the Predator, but we're again, we're gonna look at this shit and be like,
Yeah.
dude, that's totally the Predator's arm. And then when they're doing the round table at the end of season 1, be like, oh yeah, by the way, we threw a Predator arm up there to get you a little bit of satisfaction. And
Yeah.
it would be like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you have Carl Weathers in a Star Wars show. He's soft. Like, he's kind of soft. Like, he
did,
He did his little thing, like, oh, but he's kind of soft.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers, man.
Yeah. I'm not happy with minor spoiler. He's all dolled up in this episode.
He is, yeah.
Like, he has robes and accoutrement on his chest, and just like he has 2 friggin' droids carrying his cape so it doesn't drag on the floor.
Yeah.
You've gone corporate, buddy.
Yeah. We made schools. We're the best place in the outer.
Yeah.
Got it. Do we secretly hate this episode and we just didn't realize it until we started talking about it?
I mean, I gave it when we watched it with Aaron last night. By the way, Aaron, great stream, and
Yes.
I wasn't being a dick or rude. I seriously I will get you subs. I will donate to whatever charity you want. I want to hear you sing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme song, because you talked about that in your Ninja Turtle video and you kind of did a little bit of it. And I was just like humming it and bopping my head along with you and for the rest of the day until the stream. So please, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
It's a 7 out of 10 because it was
Same.
like a good show, but like, yeah, it's like we said, it's too much filler. It's a little too much comedy. And then they do things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Can I just say it? Can I just do a little spoiler?
For Mando? Yeah. We can do a little spoiler.
Yeah.
By this point, if you've made it this far in the episode, you've probably watched it.
Yeah. Like, why? Okay, first, like, the whole resurrecting the IG droid thing because he's the only one I trust.
Oh, God.
Dude. What? That makes no sense. Like, Carl Weathers is right. We can program another droid to protect the kid.
Yeah.
And like, the fact that you need that just goes to show you shouldn't have the damn kid with you right now.
Yeah.
He should be with Luke, and you should go, like, I don't know, like, you should go try to fucking recruit Luke Skywalker or Ahsoka and bump into Grogu, and that's how Grogu comes back into the fold later in the season.
Yeah.
Because Mando needs help in whatever the larger Mandalorian battle and quest is going to be for the show, for the season. He goes to recruit Ahsoka or Luke, and Grogu is what he gets. And that we can see a bit of a more, I don't know if he would age. That wouldn't necessarily, somebody said it was like a couple of years that he was actually with
2
Luke.
years.
2 years, which that would have to, I didn't know that.
That was out of
I
nowhere.
feel like
they made that
that
shit
was
up.
random.
Yeah.
So if that's true, wow. But, like, okay, you're going to have filler, you're going to have side missions. It makes no sense the way you've built it up because you've wasted some logical side missions by having them reunited. He's randomly on a mission now that next week we're going to see him go try to find this memory circuit, and he's going to go back to Tatooine. That's where I thought we were headed at the end of the episode. When we went to a water planet.
That was a waste.
Or not a water planet. Yeah, like
a place that was raining,
Bo-Katan.
which I love the fact that we went somewhere that was raining.
Yes. I 110% was like, we're going back to Tatooine. I'm going to fucking, this remote's going through the TV set. And then I'm like, oh, okay. But then he goes, he has a conversation, which was pointless, and he leaves.
Pointless. Do we give it
I'm
a 6?
starting to wonder why I gave this a 7. Whoops.
We might give it
I
a
was
6.
just so happy Mando was back.
That's what it was. There were parts where, especially when he's, doing the repairs on I-9, where I was just kind of laughing, and I was like, yeah, I'm just happy you're back. Like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But the IG reboot, I said I-9, sorry, I'm thinking of taxes. The rebuilding of IG, I understood it, of him being a character that has experienced loss, and when he gets attached to something he can't let go, such as Grogu, and IG being there, but at the detriment of we're gonna have to have an episode about him trying to rebuild this goddamn droid. That's where I was like, now the line's been crossed. Now we've crossed the line.
Yeah.
Have him just take the head. I don't know, take the head.
Yeah,
but
they did it in episode 2.
But you also
on
on the back of Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But they also showed you in the beginning the thing open up with the detonator, self-destruct. Like it blew up from the chest. How is this thing still intact, head and torso?
Yeah.
Put somebody in the room that freaking watched the last episode.
Yeah.
Mando season 1.
They turned over the cat. They turned over the cast. They didn't turn over the writer's room.
Yeah. Mando season 3, episode 1 is now downgraded from a 7 to a 6.
Yeah, I think I got to go with you on that one. I've talked myself out of my 7.
Bad Batch, episode
Bad Batch is up there,
11, season 2 upgrades from an 8 to an 8.5.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I'll go with you on this.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I think that's a good way to end the episode. Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, get some professionals in the room and get Lorenzo Lamas also in the room.
Yes.
Is Lorenzo Lamas still alive? Are we gonna end on a sad note here?
No, he can't be dead.
Still alive. 65. Lorenzo Lamas is 65. Damn. Dude, get this man in The Mandalorian on a freaking bike, man. Come on.
Have him, if we want Cobb Vanth to be the sheriff of whatever Carl Weathers' planet is, have this guy take over on Tatooine.
Yes. And then when he shows up, I don't care. I mean, you're Disney. You got all the money. He shows up, and all you hear is boom, down, 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 down.
Yep, exactly.
Or is that Walker? I just went with Walker in that one.
I don't remember it, to be honest with you, so I was just nodding along. I'm sorry.
I just hummed Walker, Texas Ranger. In the eyes of the ranger, the unsuspecting stranger, never know the something of wrong from right. 'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
All right, now you're just trying to one-up Aaron, and you're not doing it. Aaron's still getting my money or my votes, my likes, whatever.
Aaron's still going for an 8 for episode 1. Aaron's on crack.
I mean, hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think we just talked ourselves out of it. There is a lot of good stuff too, but it's not, on further review, it's not stacking up high enough against the silly shit.
Yeah. As we wrap the episode, which I think I said before, but as we wrap, I actually just got a flashback. We got a not copyright strike. We got pulled from streaming one episode because I was playing the trailer to
Renegade. Yeah. That's right. Actually, I think I'm probably the one who asked you to play that.
You may have been.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I should get Lorenzo Lamas. I'm gonna slide in his DMs and be like, "Hey, do you want to be on my show? I want to talk about Renegade."
Why not?
What if the first guest on HeyArcher Live was Lorenzo Lamas?
I mean,
first celebrity guest.
Oh, I mean, no. Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah,
that's great. We'd love it.
You'd be like, fuck you. Fuck you, pay me.
That's probably how that conversation will go, but
yeah. Well, with all of your super chats and memberships, we will fund the Get Lorenzo Lamas on Nerd Affiliated to talk about Renegade and how badass that show was.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch the trailer.
I'm down
when this is done.
Sounds about right.
Anything you want to plug before we call it a day outside of Lorenzo Lamas?
Phrasing. I don't want to plug Lorenzo Lamas. That too many different roads we could have gone down with that one. I don't like any of them.
I mean, I did say you were writing B word in the Instagram post for today.
I didn't see the Instagram post, so I have no idea. Now I'm so confused right now. It's a good thing I'm not on camera because I'm sure I just had the dumbest.
You were very puzzled just now when I said.
I'm gonna have to look at Instagram after this. Nerdy Coffee Monday mornings. HeyArcher Live Thursdays 8:15 ish. Believe it or not, before my whole nasal ordeal, there was a Last Ronin review that was done.
I swear to God, I'm almost done.
That's coming this weekend or mid next week. I swear, I'm going to be in a theater, Creed and or Ant-Man.
Ooh.
Both of them. I'm going to commit to both by middle of next week, and then I will pump out a review and we can talk about it. And I feel like Ant-Man has fallen off. I haven't heard anybody even talking about it, and I haven't seen the million trailers anymore on TV, so I'm still going in kind of blind. Like, I didn't watch all the trailers, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got. Join the Nerd Affiliated Army, please. We love our members. We love our non-members, but we love our members just a little bit more. There's certain things we can love you with behind a paywall that we just can't love you with in public.
True. One of my favorite features, again, nobody has taken me up on this offer, and the membership grows by the week. So again, we thank you all. As a, what is it? Not ensign. Is it lieutenant? I think lieutenant ranking. It may be actually all three tiers. You can submit a question via video or audio. So please, if you got a question, you got a comment, something you want us to talk about, but you want to be audibly on the show, send that to HeyArcher at nerdaffiliated.com. Anthony, thank you very much for being on the show and riding sidecar with me. You've upgraded. You got your own sidecar.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And you can hit me with an umbrella, like R.I.P. Sean Connery in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Sean Connery.
God, they should have stopped at that movie, man.
They really should have.
The best ending.
They really should have.
That was like the best ending to that franchise.
Yeah.
You finally met the man. You finally met his dad who talked down to him so much it made him, whatever. We talked for hours on that. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me hit the outro
That's
music.
A ramble.
I mean, he said it. He said everything. We got the 2 shows every week. Down below, links to join the membership. We appreciate all the support. Even you just watching, we appreciate. For those of good taste, make sure you head over to that YouTube channel. Lenny runs that show. He's still quiet. He must really be watching and enjoying Creed. I am on his podcast coming out. We recorded for 2 hours, but because we stopped it, we would have kept going. However, he just released our thoughts about the John Jones fight this weekend. UFC, I think 285 is the number. So go check that out. Let me know who you got in the description. Let us know what you think about Bad Batch, Mandalorian, Creed, Ant-Man, Scream, Children of the Corn, and whatever the Guy Ritchie movie is, because Guy Ritchie movies are all the same, but they're not all good. So I hope this one is. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. We're out of here. I was waiting for that one part. See you guys.
Have a good night.
I just want to come off mute real quick to let you guys know that Lorenzo Lamas is in 2 movies, one called Raptor Island and one called Raptor Ranch. See you later.